Hey YouTubers, welcome back. Today I've got a video here to do on a wood splitter with a Honda engine that's been sitting for about 5 to 10 years. So as you can imagine, the carburetor is probably gummed up, there's probably some issues, and you're correct, the machine is not running properly. It just starts and dies. You got to spray quick start in there to get it going. So the customer told me, you know what, just go ahead and replace the carburetor. I will show you how to do that because for most of you guys watching today, it will be easier and cheaper to just replace the carburetor yourself instead of taking it to a shop. So what I'll do first is show you what the machine is doing, and then I'll show you how to repair that. So here it is. It is a Surgemaster wood splitter with a Honda GC engine. They're not bad engines, but like any other engine, if you leave them sit for too long, which could be anywhere from 3 months on, the carburetor can be plugged up or really gummed up. Anyway, let's get the air filter off first here, because I probably will have to spray some type of starting fluid in there. We'll just air blow the dust here first. So first here, I'll just try to start it the way it is, choke on. So this is all that happens, choke on. Now nothing. If I spray carb cleaner, so basically that's all the machine does, is it starts and dies right away. Typically it's a carburetor issue. I've seen this many times, so I'll get right into replacing the carburetor on this machine. First of all, you'll need a ratchet with a 10mm socket and some pliers to undo the fuel line. Now, before I get started here, I will drain all the fuel from the fuel tank, and I'm going to undo the fuel line right here. I usually get rid of these cheap little clamps here, so don't worry if it breaks. I'll put a better clamp after. Now the fuel tank filter is right in here. There it is. See, that's your filter there, your fuel filter. So I'll let it drain. The gas looks good, but I don't want to take a chance because I won't be putting pump gas in it when I'm done anyway. Now this machine also has a brand new spark plug. Customer put it in, but if you have an issue like this where it starts and dies with quick start, it's a fuel issue, not a spark issue. However, it is good I did have a new plug anyway. So I'll let this drain and I'll be right back. Alright, so I got all the fuel drained, and the way you put this back in is you just shove it back in the connector. And I'm putting on a spring clip like this, it's much better. Now to remove the carburetor, I'll get these two bolts out. You'll need a 10mm socket. Now it can get a bit tricky doing these carbs because there's a lot of parts there when you pull these bolts out. You're going to have a vent hose right here. It'll be much easier to do the job if you disconnect it. It's just a vent hose, so there's no fuel going through it. Alright, so when I look at the thing for the choke here, it looks like it's been bent, so I'm just going to bend this back. And the carburetor is right here. So what you need to do is remove the choke rod, and just take note of how it goes into the choke mechanism right here. Make sure it goes in the right hole. If not, it will not work properly for you. And the fuel line connects right here. It is a 90-degree line. It's kind of fitted, so be careful with it, because it's good to have the original line because it's a 90-degree molded fuel line, which is better. So I will take the choke rod off, and I will get the throttle linkage out. I'll get it out from the governor arm right here. And you've got a spring on here as well. You can use needle nose pliers to get the little spring out. It does make it easier. And take note of the rod here because you want it in the same position. You don't want it flipped around because it may not work. And there's a cheap fuel line clip on the line here. I always get rid of these because I hate those. And to not destroy your fuel line, what's good to do is you grab it and you kind of turn it, and it will unseize it from the carb, and then just pull on it with your fingers, and you won't destroy it that way. Sometimes what will happen is the line will snap and a part of the line will be stuck on the carb. Alright, so I got the carb off. I'll go get my new Honda carb and show you what part number it is. Okay, here's the carb I'm using. It's an original Honda. They're not that expensive. Well, they're a lot more in Canada than in the US. Here's the part number. 16100-Z1A-802. And I'll put the part number in the video description as well. You want to make sure it looks the same carburetor. Now you can take the drain hose from the old carb and put it on the new one. So that's exactly what I will do here. And then what I'll do is I'll just snip it so it goes on the new carb tight. I always check to make sure that the bolt at the bottom of the bowl here is tight. Sometimes you get new carbs and they are loose. So this is the position your carb goes in. Now what I need to do is transfer the throttle shaft here to the carburetor. Okay, so this is how it's going to go. Now you want to make sure this part will be right here. Check the gasket here to make sure it's good. So what I'll do first is get the throttle linkage inside the governor arm right here. So the linkage goes in the top hole, and then your spring goes in the bottom hole there. Just like that. Now the choke linkage goes underneath, just like that. And there's a gasket that goes at the back of the carb. It's on the plate here. And now I just got to make sure I've got this thing in the right order right here. So this goes in this position. And again, make sure the gasket on the engine right here is good. You can reuse the same gasket. Then you'll need to line everything up here. Now the tricky part is you have to line up everything. This here, the bolts have to go through the carb. You got to do that almost all at once. So what I do is I put the bolts in like this. I don't put them in all the way yet. Then I come down here and hook up the vent tube. And then what I do is I just basically line up these screws on the plate and through the carb, so you'll have to adjust as you go here. Might take a bit of patience if you're not used to doing this. I'll come on this side here. And now from this side, you can see how I will line up the final spacer with the gasket. Now what I'll do is just snug these bolts. And I'll just tighten up the two bolts by hand here. and tighten them up evenly. Now I always check to make sure that the choke works, and when the rod is pulled you want the butterfly to be completely blocking the hole, so it is working. When you push it in, the choke is off and this is open. So I think we're good. I'll just check the oil here before I get started on this. The oil's back here. Oh, look at this. This oil's bad. It's got water in there. Look at that. So I better drain that before I even attempt to start this machine. So when your oil's colored like that, it means there's water or moisture in there. So you may have to, you know, replace it once or twice. I saw a bit of water come out. Look at that. So I'm probably going to have to do 2-3 oil changes before that oil looks normal again. And while the oil is draining, have a look inside the old carb. Lots of corrosion here. And in this case, guys, don't waste your money paying a shop to clean the carb. Just put a new one on. Okay, so I'm going to fuel it up, but I'm not putting in any kind of fuel in here. I'm not putting pump gas. I'm putting True Fuel, the 4-cycle, because this machine is probably going to sit for months again before the customer uses it. This stuff has a 2-year shelf life, I think, when you open it up, 5 years in the can. So I've started doing this with a lot of my customers, especially snowblowers and wood splitters here, because these machines sit a lot and people forget to start them. So with this fuel, you're sure that in 2 months, if they go to start it, even 6 months or a year, that it will start and the carburetor will not be gummed up. So this, by the way, is the 4-cycle. You can get the 2-cycle one for your 2-stroke equipment. Okay, what I will do here to just get this going quickly, I'll just spray a bit of a card cleaner as quick start in here, because these engines here have a fuel pump and I may have to crank it quite a bit to get the fuel to the carburetor, so I'll just kind of take a shortcut here. I'll put back the air filter here. We'll test it out with a block of wood. It's always good to load test the equipment, guys, because it requires more fuel when you put any piece of equipment under load. And then you'll know for sure if the machine will run good when your customer is actually using it. Very important to put stuff under load. And again, guys, if you're going to just fix your machine and put it away for quite a few months, I highly recommend that you use the True Fuel. It's not going to gum up your carb. Throttle's a bit stiff, so I'm just going to spray some lube here. It'll make it easier, much easier. So now that it's ran again, I will change the oil again. If it's colored, I will change it again a second or third time. Just thought I'd mention that. I put in 5W30 because these get used a lot in the spring and fall and winter. If you use it in the summer, you can put 1030 or straight 30 oil. If you're doing this yourself, you can try to clean it. If you're somebody that doesn't feel like cleaning a carburetor and it's easier to replace it, then just replace it. And I do recommend the original Honda carburetor. The part number is in the video description as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, like it and share it with your friends, and make sure you're subscribed. Have a great day.